Hello, Alamo City! Welcome to the Disc and That podcast show. I am your host, Southpaw Rob. With me, I have...
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's C-Rod here. Hope y'all are having a wonderful Friday already. Glad to be back another week and, discussing a few different things going on today. Have a special guest as well. We'll introduce him shortly. But yeah, and just here enjoying the new seating. I like the new couch, Rob.
Oh, yeah. It's not the casting couch either. I'm kidding.
Well, good. You're the first guest.
Yeah.
Different seating for sure from the chair that would go all the way down. But
So we were messing with a few of the things and within the settings, the technology.
And we're going to continue to.
And we continue to evolve and learn. And thank you guys so much for the support. We really appreciate all the feedback and everything that's come back.
Continue to like, share, subscribe. Again, we want to do a giveaway at 100 subscribers on YouTube. You can find us on all the major, networks, Spotify, things of that sort where you
Apple
can download.
Podcasts.
But yeah, just support us. Go like our page. The more you help us out, we can help others out. Keep this going. And we enjoy doing it for the community and having special people on. But not much more to say. To just start off, I want to get introducing our guest for the day. I'm gonna let Rob do that because I know that this person has piqued Rob's interest, my interest, and that's why we have him here today. So we'll tell you a little bit about him here. Who he is. Why he has piqued that interest. But yeah, Rob.
So I'm excited to bring in this next guest. I've known him for a minute. Definitely met him on the golf course and definitely throughout the tournament scene. And very competitive, very compassionate person, very great sense of humor. And he is the newest member of Team Disc Kingz. He is on our recon team, which we will be talking a little bit more about. But he is the newest sponsored member for our team, Team Disc Kingz. And his name is Joe Sodacan.
Hey, people call me Sodacan. It's Sudolcan, but people call me Sodacan because they can never say it. Yeah. You're close.
But yeah, Joe, tell us, just tell us a little bit about yourself, right? I guess start with letting them know your PDGA number.
Yeah.
We'll mention some of your handles right now, right off the bat, and we'll announce.
You got a cool logo too.
We'll talk about that. Yeah. I saw that got created. But yeah, just tell us a little bit about. I guess at this point, just tell us about you and disc golf, man. How did you get introduced to disc golf, and why should people know the name Joe Sudolcan?
Yeah, my name is Joe Sudolcan. My PDGA number is 144254. Some people know me in San Antonio because I'm the best putter in San Antonio. It's a running joke right now, but I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of true.
He's also the most humble guy.
I'm really good at being humble. But how did I get into disc golf? I would say I got into disc golf back in 2011 for a year. I was bored at church and my pastor said, "Hey, here's a disc, go throw it." And that's kind of how I have the form I do. I like to chop down on any forehands because the only disc I had for like a year and a half was a Z Flick. That's the first thing I got.
Is that the one he gave you?
Yeah. So some people say "Oh, you throw a destroyer, it's too fast for beginners." Well, try throwing a flick when you first start. But yeah, I stopped playing for until maybe 2018. Picked it back up because my dad wanted to play. Started playing with my dad. I still play with him at least once or twice a week. He's my caddy for all the tournaments. So I got into it to hang out more with my dad. When I just love the sport.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's see him all the time.
A solid disc golfer too. And very, very fun to play with.
Very welcoming person.
Yeah. He's great to play with because number one, I know he can calm me down by making fun of me during rounds. So
is he competitive?
He's competitive.
Okay.
Up shots 250 and in, I could never touch him. But he's just a great calming force to me, and that's how I got into disc golf was with my dad.
Yeah. What's y'all's favorite course to play together?
Jeez, I thought Pearsall was the only course for 2 years. So I've played hundreds of rounds at Pearsall.
Pearsall Park, South San Antonio.
Pearsall almost every Saturday.
Okay, cool. Pearsall. Wow.
And that's your home course, right?
Yeah, 10 minutes
where are you from?
I'm from Lytle. Well, I say Lytle because no one really knows Atascosa City, but it's hugged in between San Antonio and Lytle. So I'm like 10 minutes from Pearsall. Get in the car, get there.
Right next to that home. Traders Village as well, right?
Yeah, right next to Traders Village.
For those of you that never been to Trader's Village, you got to go. If you like elote, if you like raspas, if you like random things that probably shouldn't be sold.
Yeah, if you've never been to like the flea market, it's actually
It's a
pretty
higher
cool
end flea
little
market,
place
yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
And
off
then you can go get a
topic,
round
but-
afterwards. You can get another round right there
Right
down the
there
street
at
at Pearsall
Pearsall.
Park, which
Yeah.
at Pearsall Park, for those of you that don't know, it used to be an old landfill. And I didn't realize that until like 2 years into playing it. And I was like, man, let's have cleanups there and let's do this and let's do that. I kept picking up trash. I was like,
Cleaning
there's
up on
so
the
much trash there. So like, I'm like, this used to be a landfill.
Yeah.
Like it's a never ending trash everywhere. It just like comes out from underneath the dirt. It's not so much, but yeah, the people drop stuff and stuff
Yeah.
like that and throw it or whatever. But
And some homeless people sleep on T-pads.
Yeah.
Like it gets a little sketchy out there.
No, but yeah, again, if you're new to disc golf and you're in the community, go check it out. It's like pretty challenging course.
it's always windy.
The same time
Yeah.
has those holes that are very gettable. Benefits the long throwers. Fun course for the short throwers. I
It
mean,
gets a bad rap.
yeah, it gets a bad rap for
You get
sure.
in the
Just because it
cactus.
isn't as
Yeah, cactus holes.
I mean, I'll be honest. For me, I like the course. I just hate hole 10.
Yep.
That's
One
what
of my
it comes down
aces is
to.
hole 10. So that's
Really?
good.
Wow, that's a good shot. For y'all that don't know, you got to go over. There's cactus on the right, cactus on the left, and a very narrow fairway. But Joe has a big forehand, so I'm taking he just goes all over the left side. And if you have that playing you, yes, it's a more likable hole for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe. I mean, I guess so. Just kind of we wanted to have you on for sure because you're now part of Team Disc Kingz.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, what are your plans for the year? Right.
What are your goals? Like if you were to do this, you would consider it a successful year.
Plans for the year. So I came in, I know a lot of people don't really think about rating that much. I came into the year at 939 or 940. I want to get above 960, 965 by the end of the year. Very doable, yeah. My first 2 A tiers, I averaged about 980 for my 2 A tiers. So,
Nice.
And
that
what were
was
those
cool.
2 A tiers? Which ones were?
So Victoria Open was one of them. I didn't have that great a showing the first day. The second and third day I did, and I was able to claw from like 20th to 3rd, which was pretty cool.
And y'all, the way he did it, pretty cool stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm getting to T box 1, right? And I'll let him kind of tell you a little bit more, but I'm getting to T box 1, and they're like, yeah, this dude just threw in from like 300 feet.
Oh, yeah, that was sick.
And
It was an
on a
ace in its own.
forehand,
Oh,
right? So
100%.
instantly to my head, I was like,
That was
Joe
Sodacan.
has a big forehand. I was like, that could be him. Sure enough, it's him. And then, the reason why I'm saying this is because he did have a great tournament. I mean, I know
And
last
that's
year.
it's a tough field. It's a
Yeah.
very tough field. It's most of the best in Texas. Not
And you
all,
wanted
but
revenge from last year too, right?
Oh, dude, 100%.
I want revenge. That's why I didn't go back.
I think I got 4th last year, and it's
Yeah.
because I didn't botch the last day. I mean, I shot 7 down and 7 down at Fox, which was a good one.
Yeah.
But Riverside, I'm just not good at it in the wind.
Yeah. But let them know too what else happened that tournament, Joe.
Yeah, so what's cool about that tournament is I haven't aced in a while, right? So I've been hunting for an ace, but I did the second best thing to aces. So first round, like Chris said, I didn't shake my drive, but I was pretty far on the fairway, maybe 350 off the tee. And my mom decided to go up with me because she wanted a caddy for me. So I said, sure, like come up. I was throwing into the hole. She said, where are you trying to throw? Because she hadn't seen disc golf really before. I said, I'm just trying to lay up, get a par. She said, I didn't come to watch you lay up. Like, throw it at the basket. I said, okay, but if I don't do good, like don't feel bad. I'm fine. I'll throw for it. So I threw all air 370 feet into a headwind, and it just cashed chains. So that was sick. Only eagle for the weekend.
Yeah. And that was a cool hole though, because right behind it is OB.
Oh, yeah.
So it takes a little bit of cojones to go after that. Right, first hole of the tournament, first everything, and to go ahead and do that was pretty solid.
Yeah, and Fox's bend last day. I threw what I thought was a sick tee shot, but there was a ghost limb hanging down, and I hit technically first available. It's a big tree in the fairway, and I had 315 into the bucket, and I was playing with my buddy Seth Culver, and I said, you know what, I might as well just get another eagle. I'm gonna throw it in again. He said, you do that, and we were battling. He was 1 stroke ahead of me at the time. I said, all right.
Cool
Told my
guy,
dad,
too.
Oh, great guy. told my dad, I said, this might be a bad idea, but I have nothing to lose. I was in 6th place at the time, so I have nothing to lose. So I threw it, skipped off the road, got another eagle. So yeah, 2 eagles in one tournament.
That's
It was
awesome,
sick.
dude. Yeah, I mean
That's a good one too. That that skip shot.
Cool.
You know?
I mean, and you know, no matter where it's at, an eagle. I mean, these were legit eagles. I was there to play the course, so I know that those are 2 solid distances. I mean, you got, you know, Joe doing Calvin Heinberg things over here because that, you know, I mean, I don't really hear of that happening much.
No, he definitely got the power with the forehand, and I love the forehand flexes that you throw, and just the style of your game. You are a pretty good putter, but you know, tell us a little bit about what tournaments you have coming up.
Okay. So I have Loso. I decided to jump from MA1 to MPO following Chris's lead over here.
Oh, yeah. Team captain right here.
Giving it a try.
Yeah. I feel like if I play my game there, sure, I may not beat the 1,000 rated MPO players there, but who knows? Maybe I'll play good enough to cash and not have to buy more plastic, actually get cash.
Yeah. Well.
So that'd be pretty cool. After that, let's see. I was going to play Kodo, couple of Texas Open, but something come up and I have to officiate a wedding that weekend.
Nice.
So can't do that, but I'm looking forward to Piney Woods as my next big tournament after Kodo.
For those of you that haven't been to Piney Woods Open, that's sick tournament.
Dogwood's a fun course, yeah.
Players Pack was sick. I went.
I think it's the best players pack of any tournament I've ever played.
I got like 2 bags. I got like a disc grabber. I got like 5 discs. I got a long sleeve shirt. I got a hat. I got like
a disc grabber too with the little suction
cups?
cups on it.
Oh yeah, that was. And then
dude.
you know, if you've never been to Tyler, Texas, in Lindsay Park, there's 3 courses in one compound. It's a lot of parking, a lot of area for vendors. It just kind of sets up very well. Yeah. Especially for filming and for like the courses. Dogwood, on the other hand, is my nemesis. For those of you who never played Dogwood, check it out on YouTube. There's Texas States. They shot it there. I feel
like it's a lot of people's nemesis.
Yeah, no, it's a very tough course. Very technical, very long. Lines are very kind of for a lefty. They're a little awkward for me, anyways. I mean, it doesn't help when you throw it into the tree, but
a lot of trees.
Trees.
Hey, shout out to Alan Jansen though. I think last time we were there, he shot 6 down at Dogwood.
Oh yeah, that's very very impressive.
Alan's been known to break some records recently, huh?
Yeah. Alan Jansen, a Team Mint, and also Lucky Ace, I believe.
Masters 40.
MP40. He's definitely a really cool guy as well. Very talented. And if you want
to know who we're talking about, reference back to season 1. We had him on there.
So hopefully we'll have him back on. But you know, he's doing a lot of cool things on social media and stuff like that. I know I saw some films with him and Mason.
Pivoting back, I just want to go. I want to ask you, Joe, for a lot of players out there, especially like amateurs who are listening to this, and want to know, like, hey, I'm a forehand dominant person. I throw a forehand, you know, more comfortable than a backhand. Joe's like a go-to guru for that. Let us know a little bit about what you have in the bag and kind of what helps with those shots, Joe.
I've toned my bag down a lot to maybe 6 different molds that do what I needed them to do, right? So I got in, like I said at the beginning, Z-Flicks got me in a bad habit of just hammering everything over. I've kind of toned that down a little bit. Let's see, for my putters, I can't beat soft UFOs right now. I love UFOs. I love daggers and I like judges, and the UFO fits right between that.
Okay.
And I just wanted to put a little mint in my bag, just to shout out Texas a little bit.
Yeah.
Approaches. I think everything I have is stable for approaches. I throw A2s because I used to throw justices, but A2s are a little bit more shallow.
Yeah, you were telling me about the A2, man.
More consistent release point for me.
Yeah, I got to give it a try for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely one of those discs that I thought about putting in my bag. But, you know, shout out to my team, Team Gateway. But, you know, there's so much that you know about that. You were talking about the A2 and what is your go-to disc?
Jeez, my go-to disc.
Like if someone said, hey, you get 3 discs, play around, but 3 disc tournament, like what 3 discs are you picking?
Jeez, so not counting my putting putter, I'll say 3 discs. I'll say the A2, Glow Pioneer, and probably a more stable Star Destroyer. Maybe not Halo for 3 discs, but a stable Star Destroyer.
Okay.
All right.
Solid, yeah. I mean, that's everything you need for sure. No, that's cool, man. Again, a lot of these, we have these guests on so they can share their experiences, everything like that. I mean, one thing I want to ask you, Joe,
Mhm.
obviously now being part of this Kingz, and what's your like, what's something that you like manifest, like not manifest, I would say like dream, like, man, I would really like to get this accomplished in my disc golf career. Like, what's your goal here?
Let's see. I love the competitive aspect of disc golf, but really my favorite aspect of disc golf, being as extroverted as I am, is like people talk about leaving places better than when they got there.
Yeah.
And I feel like that with people. So like I like to be a positive impact on people. I mean, a good example of that is I've had some crazy partners this year for like random draw doubles. I've had a few women who were great to play with. We ended up winning on some nights, which was great. I've had people like 65 and above who at the beginning were like, look, I'm sorry, like if I don't do good, like they're real respectful about
Yeah.
it. And after the round, they would tell me that's the most fun I've had playing. Like, I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
you playing like that. Sometimes I get lucky and like me and Cam will be a partner in random draw doubles and we'll like shred it. But yeah, I think I don't really have anything like, oh, I want to win in A tier. Oh, that'd be sick, right? That'd be cool. But I just want to be a positive impact on people and to the community. Like if that response makes sense. I just
No, for
like
sure.
being
No,
a
no,
positive
definitely.
impact
I
of the community.
mean, influencers such a thing these days,
Yeah.
and especially like when we're doing a podcast like this, you want to have that. People are gonna go, "Who's Joe Sodacan?"
Yeah.
Who are they talking with? Who is this guy? The curiosity is
So
always.
where can they
kill
find
me.
you on social media, or what's your social media handle?
Geez, my social media handle and everything is Sodacan39, right? So Sodacan, one
Consistent,
word,
like his
39.
game.
What's the 39 for?
All the numbers for the tight end slot in high school were taken. 39 was left, and I just run with 39 ever
So
since.
you were a tight end?
Yeah, tight end, but not an athletic tight end. My coach just blocked down. We would block the defensive end down, and they would kick the running back outside. So I wasn't the athletic tight end. I did have one touchdown off
You
one
were
pass,
no-
but I'm not bragging.
No
about
Gronk,
that,
huh?
you know? No Gronk.
Man, to play disc golf.
More
back
like
in
a
those
Jason
days,
Witten
huh?
that couldn't catch. Jason Witten could catch, but he also was good at blocking. So
How do you feel you would have played disc golf back then?
jeez. I mean, disc golf to me, when I got into it, it was coming off baseball, which is why I sidearm. I never cared about learning backhand.
You had a background or
Yeah,
anything like that.
I
didn't
never
know.
cared about learning backhand because forehand, it works the same with a baseball swing and a baseball throw. So the mechanics were down. Twisting the opposite way with backhand, I'm lucky if I push a disc 330, 340. But backhand, I could push 460, 480. No, forehand, 460, 480. So that's why I'm forehand dominant as I am.
Yeah.
And I started like that too. I mean, you see me go through an evolution. Like I'm a baseball guy myself as well, and
He used to
now
throw
I'm
200. Now he throws like a solid like
310 at
215.
least.
310 at least. No, but in all seriousness, like I worked a lot on my backhand,
Yeah.
and
Well,
what
you
took
have, I
that
could tell.
and
Yeah.
is the mechanics. And now it's like the thing that I go to now more, and when I should really be throwing a backhand or a forehand. And I'm trying. That's one thing that I'm working on this year is that I know. And when I go to the field, I'm focusing on my backhand. I never really work. That's the one thing that I picked up on this year. I do work on it, but nowhere near as much as I do my backhand.
Yeah.
Which it shouldn't be that way, because then I was like, oh, no wonder it feels.
50-50, especially when you're equally good at it.
Yeah, and I feel like now I am equally good, but just not as consistent with my forehand anymore, just because I don't do it as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a lessons learned I've had from Texas State's actually.
Oh yeah. Tell us about that. You were telling us a little bit off camera. What happened there? You played
yeah,
well there too.
Texas
That was the
State's-
other one that you talked about, right?
I played well. I think after 2 days, I was like tied 6th or tied 7th, but only
There's a big field. There's like 60
Yeah.
people.
But first place, $900 in MA1s. That's pretty wild.
Wow.
I think
Crazy.
I was 4 shots out the lead, and I threw way too many practice rounds after each day. And when you really are only throwing forehands and not really throwing backhands, man, it taxes you. And I never really thought about it because I don't really play courses blind. So going up there, I had to really practice these courses. And it's such a forehand dominant course the last day, that FPO Brock mod. So I'm still kicking myself about that. But I had a good showing there. I mean, I got, what is it, 15th place or something like that. Still got $290. So
Nice.
it's not bad.
Solid.
What'd you end up
course.
getting with that 290? Or is it still in the credit?
Jeez, my dad was caddying for me, so I got him 2 polos, and then I got like 4 discs or something like that.
Wow.
Crazy how fast it goes, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean,
polos,
first
what,
place,
like 50,
grabbed
60 bucks or
4
what?
bags. Like he just grabbed 4 bags and dipped, like just all the boxes. That's pretty
Dang.
That's what I would have
crazy.
done.
cool. Oh yeah, me too. If I had more than $300 to spend. Yeah.
Yep.
Most definitely. So now I would love, you know, a lot about disc golf, and I love that you watch it. You see podcasts, you see very high IQ when it comes to podcasts. So we had some picks last week. Did you have your picks for Jonesboro? Who did you pick? And if so, were you right or were you?
And if you didn't, I know round 1 at this point has already happened.
No, we're talking about Jonesboro. It happened. It recently happened.
No,
for
that last
Jonesboro,
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, our picks are last week.
Long day, y'all.
It's a long day.
Yeah.
You got a 10 on the hole.
Did you have any favorites going into that tournament?
Sorry, could help it.
Guys, what he's referencing is I'm playing a tournament currently right now as we see this. Great round. I did take a 10, but
we're not talking about that.
we're not talking
You're good,
about that.
He had a
I did
great round
bounce
after
back-
that.
Yeah,
He did bounce back crazy.
I had a great
Yeah.
round before. I had a great round after it. But biggest thing I learned from it that I can share with you is I didn't dwell on that 10.
Resilience.
I moved on.
Yeah.
I forgot about it quick. I had a great card. So it was hard for me to be in a down mood. But again, biggest advice I could say is just bounce back as fast as you can
And you did.
finish strong. Because I'm not as mad as I was earlier when I took 10. But going back to it.
Very tough course, the Ranch and Wilder.
Yeah,
But
Jonesboro. Did you have favorites?
Jonesboro. So, I mean, people are dumb to not have a favorite of Barella this year.
Yeah.
But I really wanted Heimberg to do good. I mean, it sucks not seeing him throw forehands anymore. And
He's got a good forehand,
now.
smooth.
He's really honed in on that backhand turnover.
Yeah.
He's always had that though, like that real
100%.
that laser.
Well, that's
like,
what they said he started off with.
But he started leaning on the forehand. But I mean, I really wanted Heimberg to do good because he's one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
I mean, secretly, I wanted KJ USA to win because Kevin Jones. I
he just
love
kind of
his energy.
disappeared off the face of the earth.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I wouldn't say
I would say
disappeared because if he goes to any local events, he's probably going to shred and kill.
No,
everyone.
I'm talking about the DGPT.
Yeah, but I'm
Obviously,
just saying,
he wiped the floor with us. I'm
There's
sure.
just so many good players out there now that it's like even when we take our picks every week, it's like, man, like you could pick literally anyone in your top 50 and they could be a tour winner, right? It's just who shows up on that weekend, right? So, I mean, that's just kind of what we're getting to. But
I would have picked Heimberg or Lazat for last week.
yeah,
And then the
because-
FPO.
FPO, I mean, honestly, I like watching Holmes Goggins play the most, but
'Cause
she
of the
doesn't have
forehand.
the distance. Yeah, she
Yeah.
doesn't have the distance to really be competitive on
and
that
she'll
course.
say it too.
Yeah. But I thought it would have been cool to see Holland Hanley take one down. But it was cool to
Wow.
see Kristen come back to her
fun-
form.
It's funny you say Holland because I mean, as you know, moving on to this weekend, we got the Music City Open, and obviously this isn't going to be a spoiler alert, but you know, after round 1, I don't know if you're aware, Joe, but Holland Hanley's in first place at -7 right now.
She was 7 through 10.
Yeah. She kind of went stale, but again, that's still 3 strokes to 4 strokes better than second, third, and fourth place right now. So, I mean, Holland has everything that it takes
She does.
to
She does.
win. I like Holland. I'm a fan of her.
Nice
her
forehand, too.
technique, her
Yeah, she
form,
does.
it's nice.
She just got to fix that putting. That's it. I mean, and when she's on, like she's shooting those rounds.
Yeah, and she's hitting those putts.
Now
But
she
when
is.
she's
Yeah.
off,
If Evelina fixes her putting, she's going to be a force to
dude,
reckon with, too.
Hannah and Evelina.
Yeah.
Every
But they're
week.
both like they've been. I could tell that they've gotten better this year, especially
hung out
the
with
nerves.
Paul.
But I think with them, it's not like mechanics. It's not anything like that. I think it's just the nerves, and I think it's just those fast twitch muscles and the breathing and definitely getting out of your head. It's
I think
more
it's
of
the
between
head
the
thing,
ears.
because they practice enough to
Oh
get
yeah,
all
of
that.
course. They
So
practice
it's
more than
definitely
anybody. I mean,
mind
probably
game.
just as much as anybody else on tour.
It's hard to come back from being a meme. Like, that's the thing. Being
Yeah,
a meme
that
for
is-
missing putts, it's hard to not just have that playing
No,
in your
yeah,
head.
I
I'm
don't
sure.
wanna miss this.
I took a 10 today. I'm not even having a meme, and that's gonna.
Yeah.
Gonna
But
haunt me for a
tomorrow
while.
you're gonna have a hot round. I know you're gonna have a hot round, and you mark my words. I guarantee he's gonna
Yeah.
shoot a hot
I'll
round.
let y'all know. I'll give you an update. But yeah, moving forward, just kind of knowing what's going on.
Music City,
Now
baby.
it's Music City, MPO, Barilla and Heimberg aren't at the top this week.
He's 3 down or something.
I just want to throw out there before we start to talk about Music City, we had picks last week, right?
Let's see who got them right.
And we had Monty on. So we'll start with Monty. Monty, shout out to you, man. We appreciate you being on the show. I had a good time kicking it with you today after the round. I look forward to it for tomorrow. But yeah, Monty, you had Mason Ford, Nicholas Antela, and Isaac Robinson. Well, my friend Mason Ford did not show up to the tournament, so he's probably out.
No, that's Jonesboro.
Huh?
You're talking Music.
Oh, Music City. Yeah, I thought he was.
He was there. He was in the top 5.
No, but
no, he's talking Music City. Mason Ford's not there.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier.
He's probably not there because Val's not there.
Not there because she has her injury.
Oh, the trigger finger.
Yeah.
I know. I picked her and she wasn't there.
So get into it, Monty. You had Ford, Antela, Robinson. You have 2 picks that are still, I guess, playing, but we'll see how that turns out for you.
All the short guys.
He wanted to. Hey. I guess he has a preference, huh? Yeah. Just kidding. Just mess with you, Monty. Nothing but love. And then on the FPO side of things, we had KT. I mean, how do you not have KT up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Manduhano and Blomroos, who's a great pick. Another one we were talking about there where, her and Evelina just kind of get a little better at putting.
Dude,
and their forces to reckon with. Because when you think about it, even as they get older and maybe they're not throwing as far as right now, they're just going to be throwing as far as most of the other people on tour right now. And then, they're going to have that putting to match it by then, I'm sure. Rob, you had Antela, Gannon, and AB. I mean, definitely never bad picks, but
they were right
there.
Now,
I mean,
Gannon's right there too.
They're there. So we'll see how that turns out.
And I really think that AB, round 2, he's going to shoot a
course
hot
record
round. I don't know about course record, but I think he's going to come shoot between 9 and 13 down.
Antela would have been my pick for this week.
Yeah, dude, I love Antela. He's one of my favorite players. He really is.
His backhand form reminds me of mine,
Really?
So, no.
And then Rob, you had Manduhano on the FPL side, Tatar, and Missy Gannon. Again, sorry, Manduhano didn't end up playing.
I hope you feel better, by the way.
Yes. Hopefully she's quick
resting
recovery.
up for Champions Cup. And good decision.
Cup coming up, which we'll talk about here shortly. And then myself, none other. I picked Heimberg, always a great choice. Kyle Klein. I mean, he's going to be back up there all the time.
Yeah, he will. He always creeps back up there if he's not there.
And then Simon Lazat.
That's sick. You picked Simon.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh.
So that was a good pick for me. I'm like, man, you can never count Simon out. And he's that guy too. And it's like, when you start to count me out, I'm going to show you I'm back in.
And you know what I really think? I think he wants another guitar. I think that's what the motivation is.
He got a cool Gibson.
Yeah, and he got that cool Gibson last year, and he was talking about being at the factory, and in his interviews prior to the tournament starting, he was like, "Man, I saw like 15,000 things and 15,000 Gibsons," and he was just like all about it. And he's like, he said this one, the next he saw the trophy or something like that, and it was definitely not a downgrade, is what he said. So I know that's a little extra motivation for him.
He plays his trophy. That's cool because he can play guitar.
Yeah,
so.
But I mean, I have him as a top pick again. I like Simon. He's a cool guy. I like his play. So
I think 18. The last thing I'd like to say about Music City is that I think 18 is going to be like last week's Jonesboro 18. I really think 18 is going to play the way it's set up today. I don't know if y'all saw the last hole. They did a little reconfiguration. I think it plays better. We were talking about it off.
It doesn't look gimmicky, which is cool.
Yeah, and it definitely looks harder than the past few years. And I think that's a common theme.
Not to downgrade Mason's win. It was a great win.
Oh, yeah.
But the course, it looks
it's harder and it's a lot more aesthetically pleasing. And I think they move things around. I think that's a common thing in the DGPT. They did the same thing with Austin Open. They did the same thing with Music City, Jonesboro, to have the vendors village so that they can have, obviously, you know, what films on camera well and things like that. You can tell that they're putting a lot more thought into, we're going to have,
well, you have space. To if you're trying to elevate the sport in general.
I'm so glad they got rid of that whole one. I hated that little
the
200 foot through a window.
The one that looked like the one from Armadillo.
Yeah.
The little roller hole.
Such a weird hole.
Yeah.
But So yeah, and then I had KT, Evelina, and Rebecca Cox. They're all three up there as
And
well.
Rebecca Cox was up there for
That's a cool pick.
Yeah,
Rebecca
yeah. I just wanted
she's been playing good. I always root for her.
She's been playing well. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before she just puts it together all 3 days. And she's a strong driver. She could approach. Her putt's gotten significantly better over the years. And I think I talked about that on last show. But
and not only that, but you know how I was surprised with the FPO today was who was up there was Haley King, and she's like, I think she's like one of the best players in the world. I don't know if it's a motivation thing. If it's,
she is a world champion.
She gets hurt a lot.
She's mentioned some mental health things, and I don't know what's going on in her personal life, but with her, it almost seems mental. I like it that getting past certain things and injuries. Obviously, great game. I love her game. Very powerful, good putter.
We'll see her for a long time.
And but I'm excited to see her, but I was surprised. Like I know she's taken a few tournaments off and stuff like that. So, but I'm excited to see her up there.
And she's usually up there when she's
playing.
When she's playing. And
but it had just been.
And it's crazy too to know her potential. Whenever you see her not having a good day and she's still up there, it's wow, like she does have the potential to beat Kristen on a weekly basis.
And she can. I think she can challenge definitely.
Yeah,
there's a lot of ladies in the FPO that I believe can challenge now. I think they've kind of gotten over the stun. I think, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like somebody's just running over us. And I think you go and work in the off season, and then that's your motivation for the next season. I think that's what's going on right now in the FPO. They've elevated their game. Everybody's kind of come meet me, kind of thing.
And I don't know what we mentioned. Did we mention the champions of Jonesboro?
Oh, yeah. The Kristen Tatar took it down.
I mean, she just did more than take it down. She won it after the
by
first
9
round.
strokes? Was it 9 strokes, I think?
I think it was 7.
I think it was 7.
Yeah.
7 or 8.
She won it. I mean, she won it significantly. She hadn't won after the first round, and she did exactly what she needed to do the next 2 rounds.
Because I think there was only like 2 or 3 people within that.
So
and then everybody else was like 20 strokes away or something.
Holland shot 11 down the second round to have the best fire round on the day, and she was still 6 strokes behind Tatar going into the final round.
Yeah.
Or right. 7, one of those. But still, that just goes to show how much Tatar did dominate that course and that tournament. And then, of course, it was such an exciting finish. AB and Calvin Heimberg coming out to the wire.
I feel bad for
Benjamin Callaway.
So, what do you think about that take? I've heard this take on multiple podcasts. Was that a momentum killer? Like, all this is building to the last hole, and then he throws it OB, and it's immediately over. Like, there's no drama build up to that going to a putt. Like, what are y'all's thoughts on that last new hole that really, I mean, it affected Calvin too, but like, did you feel like it built up, or that it did it a disservice, or do you feel like it was a good hole? Like, that's what it should be.
No, I think it's great. I mean, hole 18, I don't want it to be a hole where everyone's going to get a comfortable birdie. Like hole 18, well, the pros made hole 18 at Brock Premier look like an easy birdie hole when it's not. But I don't want it to be an easy one. I think the momentum killer for Callaway was when he had like a 15-foot putt.
Oh, yeah.
And he chained out left. And then he threw it long on 17 and went OB. I think he was just dejected going in to 18. Like, great.
You think
now
it was already lost?
Yeah, he's like, great. Now the storyline is going to be I let AB and Heimberg catch me. And he never gave it the height at all to get anywhere near in bounds.
It wasn't. Yeah. Me personally, I like the hole because, one, it makes you decide.
Yeah.
Are you going to
go for it or lay up?
Are you going to go for it
and
with
it
the
depends
hyzer? Are you going to go down the middle?
And it also depends on what your card mates do at that time, because it's like, if they go OB, well, you're definitely laying up. So, like, in that aspect, I guess that's what everybody was saying online, on Twitter, and on the Tour Life, and then they talked about on a debate night. That was one of the holes that they talked about, and I don't know how I felt about it. I mean, I really didn't think about it that way, but that's why I brought it up, just because I thought it was interesting to think about it that way, just the unintended consequences of just going OB like that, when it had already been lost probably 2 holes earlier.
What was 18 last year?
The reason I like it is because it gives everyone a chance to create that drama that you're saying, right? I thought that AB and Calvin, I'll be honest, it wasn't a for sure putt that AB was going to get that putt either. He was just
I know, because it didn't go really long, and then he threw it this way, and he still had a tester coming back.
Yeah, he had a tester.
Like,
so
he could have missed it, like, easily.
I'm just saying, like, I expected there to be some type. I thought Calvin was going to match.
I thought it was going to go to
playoff.
To playoff.
Yeah,
I really
thought
did.
it was going to go playoff.
And I think that's what people were expecting.
Yep.
And it didn't happen that
Everyone
way.
expected
For
that.
the top pros, they call it a stock hyzer. What is it, 460?
You're right.
Or something. And if it's a 460, give it the height. As long as you don't cut it off, you're going to be in bounds. So I thought everyone was going to birdie it, and Callaway still had a shot. But it was weird. Like, seeing his face,
He wasn't.
he
in
was
it
kind of
anymore.
out of it
Yeah.
already.
And he's going to be an up-and-comer. Like, he's
I wanted
doing
Ezra to
well
hit that
now
putt.
in the Music City. Like, he's doing well. I think he finished not so strong on, like, 18 or 17. I don't remember what it was today. But he's got a lot of
He's
power.
being
That guy.
consistent, yeah.
And I
Callaway
love his
laid up
putt.
an eagle. That's the part. That's the bad part.
Yeah.
When he laid up that eagle, didn't run a 40-foot putt with a disc fading
That-
away
dude,
from OB.
I was telling my wife, right? Because she's a little bit into disc golf. She knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I said the difference maker was that Callaway and Calvin laid up their eagle, and
65 feet or whatever.
Barella
OB's
went
putt.
for it.
Yeah.
He hit it. And that wasn't the only difference maker, but that
changed his momentum
that's
like
a
crazy.
putt where it changed the momentum, and you had control of it in your hand. And I thought that Calvin would have gone for it. And Callaway didn't have as easy as a bit as Heimberg.
Yeah.
But
that
I mean, I
dog
get
in
where
AB,
Heimberg was
man.
coming from at that time. But, knowing as hot as Barella's been and whatnot, I thought that now he probably goes back and probably gives it a go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
But,
putt, AB misses it, OB. That
Yeah.
would have gone straight in the water.
Oh,
so
for sure,
He's like,
for
you know
sure.
what? I'm winning this tournament.
Yep,
I'm either
yep.
going to lose
And that's
it,
the
but I'm
difference
doing
in
everything
this
to
year.
win.
I've noticed, and he's going for his putts. The
And
ones
he's
he
hitting
misses, and you can tell his follow through. It's
Yeah.
just when I see him miss,
The
it's like,
commitment.
and he's not committed. But now I see a lot more consistency in the commitment, and not only that, but like he's walking different. Like I said at the last one, but he's got like a different walk. He's one of those guys. Like he's like, I think I need a new walk.
And he's showing emotion, which is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, and just some surprising names out there. Like for going back to Music City Open happening this weekend. I know y'all are out there thinking like, oh man, it's cool to see Paul McBeth up there. It's cool to see Paul Oman up there.
Paul and
there's
Ricky. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ricky.
Ricky's up there.
Chase Card.
I mean, there's some, and then of course, like I said, Simon Lazard, right? I mean, Simon Lazard is a crowd pleaser, man. I like him. He does it for the people. He has nothing else to prove in his career, besides, of course, get a major. But something tells me he might get it this year.
Yeah.
And I think it's his time. But
He's
again,
he's a very streaky guy. Like he'll ring off a few wins, and if he's playing well, he's playing well. Like it just carries over. Like,
Yeah.
I remember seeing him play in the Des Moines Challenge, like when he knocked that one putt down on in the playoff hole with Robert Burridge.
yeah.
Dude, that was just iconic. Like just that putt, and then he was already like
Is it when he was pointing?
when he was already pointing at it, he's
Yeah.
like, it was down. I was like, dude, that was just like one of those Michael Jordan ones where he clearly pushed that guy off, and then he hit that iconic shot in the Jazz at Game 6, I believe. Remember?
Yeah,
Where he
yeah.
pushed off, they say, but no, he was already going that way.
Bill Russell.
Yeah.
But I mean, some cool names seen after round one up there. So it's going to be exciting to see. It looks like we might have a new winner, but I mean, you're going to, of course, have the Heimberg and Barella push. I mean, they could definitely go set course records out there.
Gannon's
16
right there,
down
too.
tomorrow,
Yeah,
guaranteed.
dude, they could easily go these days. They're
And then Paul's
monsters.
right there.
Yeah,
Like,
see,
wouldn't
Paul-
it be some storyline, like if he were like within one or...
the headline, he's back.
Yeah. Like, that'd be cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's going to be like...
Has he been in contention for anything this year?
No, I mean, he's
No, right?
placed like 60th. And I mean, again, it's hard, man. These are dudes who've been playing disc golf every single day, and he hasn't had the opportunity. I mean, even we go, right? And, certain courses here, right? There's dudes who play certain courses all the time. Maybe they're not a better overall disc golfer, but because they did it at that course so many times.
Dude, McLean,
and
yeah.
Just doing it in general compared to someone who does it 2-3 times a week. Huge difference, muscle memory and,
I feel like that's the thing about
training
all
the
three of
body.
our games is that they transfer over to courses.
Yeah.
Regardless of it, like I do well at out of town. A lot of people don't like to go play out of town in courses that they don't know. I don't know.
I'm fine with
I
it.
played a lot of them blind. I don't normally do it. I'll play maybe 1 or 2 rounds there, but for the most part, like I don't feel not confident. You know what I mean?
And there's
I just-
kind of no expectations either. Yeah.
I play better like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to play better at courses that I really don't know that well because
So-
I don't know any better, I guess.
So yeah,
Not
excited
scared
to
of the
see.
OB. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excited to see the results for the Music City Open, and then just to again throwing some names out there for the FPO side. Holland Hanley in first, like we mentioned. Silver Saarinen,
Saarinen.
right? She's in second. Tatar right behind her. Haley King, as Rob was saying, and then again,
That's my girl.
yeah, man. And then you got right behind again Evelina Murch, Rebecca Cox, Ella Hansen, Katrina Allen. They're all right there in pushing distance. So I'm excited for this tournament because I think Music City could be anyone's course. And anyone could go out there and play well if they show up. So moving on, though.
I got something to talk about, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, before we move on, what we got, Rob?
No, that's what I was going to talk. I'm transitioning now. So, big news in the DGPT world. They just signed a big exclusive contract. I don't know all the details, but what I do know is that they signed with a company called US Integrity. It's USI, and basically with this company, it's a comprehensive partnership is the way they title it. But it's launching professional disc golf into the world of regulated sports wagering. They're out of Las Vegas. So I don't know how I feel about that. I love it. Being a gambling man, I really just play poker, but I'm really gamble like this guy over here. But I will say it is one of those hot takes.
God, that's a slippery slope.
And how you feel, dude? I would love to bet on disc golf because I think we would have won last week.
No, I mean it'd be cool to bet on disc golf.
I would have won last week.
You're like, how am I gonna make my tour? Oh yeah, I'm gonna tank this one and hit the parlay, so I can make my tour, right? All this scandals and everything. But I don't think that. I think it's good for the game because it's going to grow the game. It's going to bring something more for people to bet on or like, oh, what's this? And you're like, I'm going to bet underwater basket weaving or whatever, but this is another sport that they can bet on. What are y'all's thoughts on that and their new partnership?
Good.
I think it would be cool, right? But I think maybe with time. Again, I don't mind it. I just feel like the game has got to grow before you could start gambling on it because I feel like it could also ruin the sport, right? I think.
What about it particularly?
Like what you were saying, can some people throw certain rounds just to 100%. Win? Can some people pay people off to say, "Hey, I'll give you a little bit of this"? It could get into certain. Sometimes people don't think it all the way through, but then you look at the NBA, you look at the NFL, and
it's happened there too. And somebody just said recently in the NBA got a lifetime ban.
Yeah, from Toronto. And
so I see what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? So that's where I'm coming with it. I think it's like don't ruin the sport before it has the chance to reach its full potential.
But I don't think it's
and it might not ruin it, but
no. I'm on the opposite side of that. I was like, I don't think we're ever gonna grow unless this happens.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? But that's just my take. But
well. How does that grow disc golf though? Like to me, I think
it's exposure, and then you have this big company that now is funding money. I don't know what the terms of the contract are, but I'm assuming they're getting money from the DG. The DGPT is getting money, right?
Yeah.
It's not a PDGA thing, I don't think.
No, I don't
know. Think it's strict, but that's more revenue for purses.
Yeah.
For crews, for bigger courses, for. Maybe shooting some more in Las Vegas.
If they're put towards the right resources.
Maybe getting a better Eagles Crossing live out there.
Man, that would be nice.
Well, I think with betting, until disc golf payout gets better, I think there could be a big problem with betting on it because let's say if betting gets out of control and to win a bet or a parlay in disc golf would be more than the $10,000 or whatever that the player would get in first place. It could be a slippery slope because at the end of the day, the players want to make money. So I don't know. I'm not saying they would tank it, but they could if they're like, you know what, everyone's thinks AB is gonna win, or everyone thinks Ricky's gonna win. If I'm close to them and I bet on Ricky anyway, second's cool. I'll get paid there, but I'll get paid more if Ricky wins. I don't know. I just think it's a slippery slope until disc golf payout is better.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And I guess this is something that we can continue to touch on as we learn more about it. And who knows, maybe it gets put into action and we'll kind of be able to talk about this, by the end of the year or sometime next year.
I like betting on sports though; it's fun.
Yeah,
Makes you more invested. So
I don't. I feel so bad about it just because every time I bet on it, I never bet on my teams. I'm not willing to bet.
I wouldn't bet on the Packers either.
Hey, really? I don't know what happened to your Cowboys, Doc. What happened to your Cowboys?
That's how you win. Bet on a lot of soccer games in like Bundesliga and Champions League, and Premier League. That's when you get money.
Josh and Joe's a bookie over there.
I'll show you strategies.
But yeah, just I guess we'll keep an eye out on that. And again, we always want to let you know kind of what we hear, what's going on. Rob does tons of research on that stuff, so I know this kind of piqued his interest. And
oh yeah, most
it
definitely.
is an interesting subject.
And I'm not all for gambling. Like I love playing cards and poker and stuff like that. I don't really understand blackjack that well, but I always lose money.
He's only had to call the addiction number once. But before we get out of here, I kind of want to just touch base on picks. As we do every week, let's do some picks, right?
For Champions Cup.
Well, I want to see Music City. Music City Open finishing picks from Joe to see where he lands, and then I want to get into the Champions Cup. Gonna be interesting this year, y'all. Just so many good golfers. But Joe, for Music City Open finishing off, right, knowing where everyone stands right now. I know we had Monty's picks from last week. I know round ones are kind of nothing these days. It's just kind of like, hey, this is where I'm at. I mean, there's still 2 more rounds to go. Where do you have your winners, right? And on your MPO side, give me 3 people who you think have the chance, knowing who's already at it through round 1.
Well, if I was to pick even before round 1 started, I would have said Niklas because I feel like the course sets up good for him. Okay, he has plenty of distance and his touch is wild, so he can have those turnovers pretty well, and his forehand's come a long way. I would have said Niklas, but I mean, seeing Simon, it'd be great to see Simon win. I think
he's my favorite player.
Yeah, if I was to go 1, 2, 3, Isaac. I'd probably say Niklas, then Simon, and I don't know. I feel like Ezra is gonna have a pop off week at any time. It'd be great to see Ezra win.
He's there right now, top 15. So
I think Ezra.
What is he at?
He's like
5 or 6 down.
I think he's 6.
Who knows? AB could shoot 17
and Mason
down,
Ford's not playing either, right? Because
no,
he was one of my picks.
That's weird though, because he could have been.
And I find that
going after the win
I'm sure
again.
there were some circumstances where
not just that. Maybe you just go. I know there was a lot of people who didn't play this tournament because they're already practicing, like Missy Gannett. I just realized you picked Missy Gannon, and she's not even there this weekend.
I know, I picked her too.
Or Scoggins.
Both players.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's funny. So Ezra, definitely legitimate choice there. And your FPO side of things, Joe?
Well, after today, seeing how Holland Hanley shredded the course, it's going to be a battle between her and Kristen. But, I mean, this year I feel like it's the year of new FPO winners. So it'd be great to see Silva win. Silva Sarnin, that'd be a great win to watch. Right. But I think it's going to be a battle between
Annika Steen the other week, so that was pretty cool. And then again, guys, excited about the Champions Cup, first major of the year, right? So, I know everyone's bringing it again. People taking off this week.
Is it going to be at Jackson still?
WR Jackson. No.
Before
they did the whole thing.
Have to do away with it.
Well, that's why they moved it, because from my understanding, Champion Cup's never this early. And the reason they're moving it was because there's some coursework, something happened, and it wasn't going to be ready.
Yeah, it's not in Northwoods. I would guess it's still WR Jackson. If it is
it Northwood Black? That's right. It's at Northwood Black.
Pulling it up right now.
Let's see. It probably is. And if it's Northwood, be in
Morden, Illinois.
Yeah, Northwood.
Yeah. So let's get to it, right? Yeah. Rob, I have you on here first. Who's your MPO winner? Pick 3 people.
Oh, I'm not gonna pick a winner, but I'll pick Ricky. Yeah. Ricky plays really well there. Yeah. I'll pick AB again. And you know what?
For the 5th week
I'm gonna pick Paul.
Which one? Ulibarri?
Macbeth?
Okay.
Ulibarri?
Macbeth.
Man.
No, Paul. Macbeth.
All right.
The GOAT.
And your FPO side?
I will have Kristen.
You cannot have her, right?
Owen. And Big Money Missy.
Owen's not good in the woods, though.
Yes, she is, dude. She can carve up those lines, dude. And that's why I think
she's good at park golf. I'll give her that. But
but I'm just saying she can scramble really well in there, and that's what you need to do at Northwood. Yeah. If you're in trouble and to save those strokes, like that's what I'm thinking. But
we'll see. And Joe?
Let's see. First, I think Northwood's good for like one angle throwers, like keeping it on a consistent line. So at the top, I'd probably put Nicholas, and maybe Isaac can pop off again. I mean, he's awesome to watch in the woods.
I know he is.
And I mean, I watched a few of Eagles like comeback YouTube videos and
His
how
forehand's back.
smooth he's throwing. So I think Eagles gonna push it, and that'd be cool to watch him come right
First
back
tournament
and-
back
Yeah.
right out of the gate.
Yeah, so I say Nicholas, Isaac, and Eagle.
An eagle?
Because he's finally coming back. He was supposed to play this week, but he said something about back pain or
Yeah,
something.
it's back for yep.
He said it was like a random, like he went to go reach for something and then
Yeah.
he tweaked it.
All right, and your FPO side of things.
FPO. I'd say a safe pick in top 3, Kristen Tatar. I'm trying to think who has just buttery backhands in FPO.
Big money
Missy.
Missy.
Missy. Yeah, I could say Missy.
Don't take my pick.
Nah, I won't say Missy. I'll say Kristen. I'll say Silva because she looks super smooth, and I think she's going to be a force to reckon with in a little bit. And I'll give it to Holland because she looked good today. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she can throw that buzz dead straight. It's pretty impressive to watch.
So Tatar, Hanley, and Missy.
Yeah.
Well, did you say
No.
Missy?
No, Tatar, Hanley, and Silva.
Silva. Okay, that's right. So
Give her the benefit of the
what do you
doubt. That'd
got?
be cool to watch.
So myself,
You're going to say Calvin, aren't you?
you know what? I wasn't gonna say Calvin, but
You're gonna say
I'm
Calvin
gonna
now.
go one more week with Calvin, especially during a Champions Cup. I think that he's. You know what?
You know it's a major though, right?
I know it's a major.
I'm changing one. My third Mason Ford for MPO. I'm changing one.
Mason. Okay,
Oh,
so the
he's
Eagle.
smooth this year. Yeah.
Okay, I believe
Instead
it. I
of
mean,
Eagle, I'll put
And that
Mason.
extra
he's
work.
been finishing top 10
But-
multiple
yeah.
times. He's
Under the
right
radar,
there.
dude.
He did
It's
a
pretty
really
impressive.
great. He did good at Jonesboro.
He's matching
Mm-hmm.
shots with some of these top pros. It's good to see.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go Calvin, and then I'm also gonna go. Let's see. It's always so tough just picking on the spot, you know.
100%. I mean,
Um,
Kyle's flying under the radar
so,
too. Kyle Klein.
honestly, he was possibly going to be one of the ones I picked, but
Yeah.
I'm also going to say, I'm going to say Matty O. I like Matty O.
Oh, he's fun to watch.
Because
in the
he
woods.
has some shot shaping there, you know. And then, of course, it's like AB, like you want to say AB because you know that's
Man, he's got a
who's gonna
strong
be a
forehand
top,
there.
you know, the top pick. But I kind of like going dark horses, you know, just people who are not going to generally pick and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. Man, I just want to be wild with this one. Let's go.
If you want to be wild, Connor O'Reilly,
let's
man.
be-
Come on.
Connor O'Reilly.
Throw it
I
out there.
mean, you never know, right? I'm pretty sure he puts it together 3 rounds in a row.
He's a solid player.
Yeah,
Yeah, didn't he do good at Northwoods Black, like battling Ricky a few years ago, or what was that?
Yeah.
No, that was the Delaware.
Oh, okay.
You know who
Yeah,
I'm
he
gonna
was
throw out
lacing
there?
lines.
I guess someone who just pops up, Bradley Williams.
All right,
Yeah, he's
all right.
smooth with it. That's where Mason learned
on
his form,
those
isn't it?
backhand lines. And then FPO side of things, I mean, you got to go Tatar, right? Like she's like AB, but it's like even more dominant on the FPO side of things. Then I'm gonna go Henna Blomers. I like her out there. And then also going through the woods, let's go ahead and go with.
Through the year of the Europeans. It's
I'm gonna
impressive.
go with Ella Hansen.
All right.
So we'll see how those picks turn out. Before we get going, though, y'all, again, please continue to like, share, subscribe. Ideas, throw out ideas to us. And if you have picks, right, if you see this video before the Champions Cup starts or even after, we'll say even after the first round, and you throw a winner out there and it ends up being that person who wins, and we see that you did comment before the tournament started or before the second round started, and you pick the correct winner, we'd do a small giveaway. We'll go ahead and send you some swag, maybe a disc, maybe a hat. You know, well, we don't know yet.
Could be a coat.
But you know, you never know. It could be Rob's pound bag. Just kidding. But you know, just again, if you see it and you guess the winner, definitely do that. But before we get there, I do want to do one thing before we thank our sponsors. Again, like, share, subscribe. We just want to bring you Rob's tip of the week before we get leave out of here today.
Hey, 1 second before that, I saw what Daniel did last week, and he brought y'all something, and I liked the way he did that. So I got y'all something too this week.
Thank
I
you.
got the Firebirds.
That's what those are. They're sitting there.
I was wondering what these were.
Halo looking goat.
Mint goat, man.
Yeah.
Can never.
What do we got
Right now,
here?
I'm out playing at the ranch. This would definitely come out in handy as you.
So for those of you that are watching or listening audioly, this is a Firebird, which seems like a Halo Firebird, but very almost G-star-ish
Yeah,
star.
it was a cool plastic.
It's very cool. Cool stamp. Gorilla Disc Golf out of Houston. Great stamp, dude. I love it.
I thought it was
Dude,
sick.
I saw that disc sitting there, and I thought he was gonna say like, "This is my first ever disc I collected," or this or that. I didn't know that was.
Thank you.
That thing
Thank you.
was
for sure. Yeah.
beautiful.
And he got his goat.
Man, I can never have too many goats. I'll be honest. I leave discs bad. I just leave them there in trees or sitting. So I can never have too many. I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
For sure.
So before we wrap up, quick tip of the week, Southpaws Tip of the Week. When throwing a disc golf shot into the headwind, here are some tips to keep in mind, especially if you're playing in Texas. So obviously choose a more overstable disc. If you didn't know that, I obviously said obviously. You definitely don't want to be throwing a really understable disc. Good things are not going to happen. Will be less affected by the headwind compared to an understable disc. The overstable will have a tendency to resist flipping and whatnot. Adjust your angle. Make sure you tilt your disc slightly downwards when you're throwing into a headwind. This helps with the disc penetrate through the wind and effectively and reduce the chances of it getting lifted or carrying off the course.
Especially when you got out of bounds.
Oh, yeah. So increase your throwing speed. You definitely want to throw it a lot harder to counter the headwind and almost like a bullet, you know. You may need to return to power, may need to put more power into that throw than you're normally used to. This will help the disc cut through the wind and more force and with more control. The last few things is focus on your release point. Be mindful of your release point when you are throwing into a headwind. A clean, consistent release will help the disc maintain a more predictable flight. Definitely. If you have a wobbler, no, you're done. Practice and adapt. So you definitely want to practice like anything else. You want to practice
That's a field, a big field.
and face different angles into a headwind, into a crosswind, into a tailwind,
Left to right,
and
right to left.
what it normally does. You know, you want to know what your disc. I know early on that was one mistake that I made. Is like I was like, I hope this goes well. Like now I know
It's
this is
good
what it
knowing
should.
instead of
It's good
hoping.
knowing instead of hoping that that's what it should do. But by following those tips, you know, and practicing various winds, you can become more confident and skilled throwing in the wind. So hope that helps out. I know Chris was going to talk about our sponsors.
And go check them out. Go check out the tips. We're posting them online.
They're on the YouTube
Again,
page and on our.
This is for everyone, right? Again, even the people who are just getting into disc golf, amateurs who want to know more. I know it's, you know, everyone always wants to know more, right? So these are just great tips to take into consideration, and, you know, actually apply them. There's a difference knowing it and actually, you know, putting it to work. But before we go,
Well, what's your go-to headwind distance driver, Rob? You and Chris, what are y'all's go-tos? So if someone's coming
On a
in, like,
backhand?
what does he mean by a stable
So-
distance driver?
So it would have been a destroyer back in the day, but now it's or a force.
Yeah.
But now since shout out to my sponsor, Team Gateway and Team Disc Golf, Kingz Disc Golf, is a Realm.
Okay.
A Realm. It's very destroyer like, a little more not as stable, but it's solid. And then the Ether, definitely. And then obviously my favorite disc, the Wizard. Those are really good in it. And,
Oh, really?
and
I
yeah,
wouldn't have
the
guessed
spin, like they cut. I like those, but yeah.
I
Those are
guess
my-
for me, it's like my more overstable one. I like the Cloud Breaker.
Oh, yeah.
And then if I want something with stability with a little flip, I like the Ride. I'm loving the Ride right now. That thing is, you know.
I think we're working on a 3-way trade.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Some
Maybe comment on the
destroyers,
thing.
some
Comment
Rides.
on the podcast if you think it's a fair deal. So why don't you explain to them what we're trying to do here and then see, and they'll be like, no, that's not worth it.
If you watch this and let us know, is it a good trade, right? So Joe would get a Calvin Destroyer from Rob, right?
Brand
nice
new.
little blue and black one, right?
Yeah, 23.
Blue and white.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a nice little domey one. Rob thinks it's worth like $70, but it's like says $29.99 on the back. But I also
Beautiful color. You can't get that color.
It is a very nice color. I'm just kidding. You probably can't find it no more. I want a green and red Rive Captain's Raptor Eye Rive
Ricky one
from Joe, and then Rob wants my 4-time Macbeth Force. He might be getting the best deal out of us all, but
Rob's is the only new one.
It's used though.
Yeah, it is used.
So and the Rive is used,
and it says C-Rod really big on the front plate.
It does not,
and it covers up the foreclaw.
It's beautiful. No. But let us know if you think that trade is fair. He gets the Force, I get the Rive that is hard to find anywhere, and Joe gets the Calvin Destroyer from Rob.
I got that Rive from Ricky too, so that was cool. I got it from him on Instagram.
Yeah, so
nice.
I want to be able to
do it in good conscience.
Wins. Yeah, yeah,
everyone wins. I win.
Rob definitely wins. Yeah, but yeah. Thanks to our sponsors, y'all. My wife, Imagine the Reaction, she supports a lot of the tournaments that we do, and she helps us with T-shirts, merchandise, things of that sort.
She makes awesome freeze-dried candy too.
Freeze-dried candy. That's her other side of things. Sweet Road Creations. So she helps out all around with us and just continues to support us as long.
So if you need any merchandise, or if you need any sublimation
she
or
did that
vinyl
jerseys for any sublimation.
Yeah, I mean,
quick turnaround too.
Yeah, so let us know and we'll see the best deal we can give. And then also my fan sponsors, of course, none other than Kingz, right? Yeah. Shout out to them. They've been there since
our
my
team
day
captain.
One, as always. Team captain trying to represent this year. And Disc fam as well too. I appreciate y'all taking me on. Being supportive of everyone on there. I'm on the group chat. Love seeing y'all guys talk about and the community that y'all created with each other. And I know Rob has a couple people he wants to thank as well.
So first, thank to my wife, to my wonderful kids that allow me to do this, and obviously, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But definitely Team Gateway. Gateway has been great to me. I really enjoy throwing their plastic. Most of my stuff is now Gateway. And obviously Kingz Disc Golf. So thank you so much for all that we do. And we're going to try to get out there. And we'll also be at Loso here in a few weeks. And May 3rd. Yeah. Come say hi. We'll be at the booth. We'll be having some putting games. And
running games, having merch.
And we'll be selling some discs, new and used. So we'll have a little bit of everything, a little bit of this.
We're doing recording as well, too. A lot of recording. Cool. And we want to find a way to integrate, some of the clips that we have into our show. So be on the lookout for that. And
new content. Yeah, definitely some new content.
New content.
We got a new drone. Jory bought a drone, so we're excited. We were playing around with that the other day. Shout out to Jory.
But it's cool stuff. And then, Joe, do you want anyone else you want to thank before we head out for the day?
First, I want to thank y'all for bringing me on the team. I think it's cool to be part of a team.
Yeah, for sure.
It's cool to not just be playing for yourself, but playing with the team. So I'm looking forward to that and how that changes my game. Thank my wife for letting me do all that. Thank God for putting me in this situation. And Brian Fair over at Bright Eyes in San Antonio, he decided to bring me on, and he dyed. If you ever see any dyed discs in my bag, they're all from Brian.
Bright Eyes
has a sick company.
Check him out on Facebook and Instagram, I believe.
At Bright Eyes, yeah.
How do you spell that?
BRIDYES.
Okay.
Yeah. Great guy. Does great stuff for the community. He's part of the team Lucky Ace over with Jay Almager, and yeah.
And he's also the creator of Aces High.
Yeah, Aces High, another disc golf club in San Antonio. He's always pouring back into the community, giving his time. So yeah, I'm just real honored for him to bring me onto his team and sponsor me. So
cool,
appreciate it,
man. Yeah. So guys, excited. I mean, there's a lot of things going on locally in this world. We're gonna continue to talk about some of the tournaments coming up. Kodo, Monahan Ranch, Gonzalez.
I'm looking forward to that,
up.
Monahan.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna continue Luke's series of Zodiac series going on with the C tiers throughout
First
the year.
Available's got some tournaments coming up.
First Available.
So for those of you that don't know, that are newbies or that are new to the disc golf scene as far as tournaments, check out Disc Golf Scene, and that's where you can register for a lot of tournaments. You can also look up courses and get some other information. But
Filter everything, whatever you're looking for.
my state, 50
Trilogy
50 miles.
challenge at
Trilogy.
Greytown with Brian. He's doing that with first.
Lucky
with
Ace, right?
Aces
Yeah,
High.
be on the
Lucky
lookout
Ace,
for that. Yeah, that's some fun stuff. You get
$40,
the disc.
three discs you get to keep.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
a great
so
deal.
be on the lookout for
Good
that.
course,
It's
dude.
fun.
Never been
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, cool, fun course. But again, nationally, it's happening. Champions Cup. We're gonna be excited to get with you next week to see what's going on there. But Joe, we appreciate you coming on, brother.
Appreciate you having me.
Excited to have you on the team. When Rob gets my input, Hollywood, Dave, founders of Disc Kingz, they named me captain and said, who would you want on the team? And they gave me ideas. Hey, this is who we want on the team. We both said Joe Sodacan.
Appreciate it.
Glad to have you on with us, man, and glad to have you part of the team.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you so
Thanks for the
much.
support.
Good night. Have a good evening. See you next week.
Later, guys.